That's some photo, by the way.
I tried to.
You look so pissed off. It's unbelievable.
That's my normal face.
I was wetting myself when I seen it. It's like anybody looking would think we were getting beat about 4-0 with the way that you're sitting watching. You know, because he did score two goals and stuff like that. But I have to say the two standout players.
He scored two goals.
Tav.
He only scored one, did he? No. Oh, he scored the penalty. Aye.
Penalty. Aye.
What am I talking about?
Right, so that I can see the stand that I was sitting in.
Right, and then pinch and zoom.
Oh, right. Do you ken the problem? I was looking at the wrong fucking stand. What a tube. I was thinking it was the Govan, and it's no.
You got ghosties?
Sorry, when you go. Sorry, mate. When you go.
What did you hear there?
It was letting Elizabeth in, but it's fine. When you go.
Oh, so you never heard anything what I was saying there?
I heard you talking about the resolutions, and then that was about it.
Aye. So your answer is no.
Sorry, mate.
As ever, we've got our website, which is it's iReadyPod at Word. So it's not. I don't know what I'm saying. As usual, you can check us out and all in our. I don't know what to say now. I'm just flummoxed the fact that we've finished this in under an hour.
You're just stalling to try and make it go over an hour.
I'm going to get to bed before 2 o'clock in the morning tonight.
Exactly.
Amazing. Hi everyone and welcome to the next edition of the iReady podcast. As ever, I'm your host Eric and along with me is my co-host Dave.
Good evening, chauffeur, how are you?
Chauffeur? I'll fucking chauffeur you.
For those of our listeners out there, Derek very kindly offered to give me and my son a lift through to Ibrox last night, and it was a big fancy Jaguar that we got a lift in courtesy of Derek's father-in-law, so we had a very comfortable and fancy drive through, so thanks again for that, mate. It was much appreciated.
Now you've revealed the Cara drive, and now you revealed on our Twitter account what my face looks like now. I'm going to be a marked man. Exactly,
and I keep telling you to stop wearing that stupid bearskin hat. Oh no, that was the boy behind you. No, as I was just saying, Derek, the picture that that was put up on Twitter by Rangers, and you're right in the centre. If that's what you look like when the team's won 3-0, then I dread to think what you look like when we're actually getting beat.
Well, it's not got a timestamp in it, so I'll say that was when it was still 0-0. So just
after we scored the third goal.
Yes, we'll obviously get into that game, but we will then... sorry, I got distracted by my dad there.
What's your dad doing there?
Oh, very funny. Yeah, we'll just batter on and we'll go down the tunnel and onto the pitch.
Yes.
Right, I'm not going to cover this too much because it was depressing. The first game we've got to cover was Friday the 24th of November away to Dundee. We obviously lost the game 2-1. Not very good, obviously, off the back of the 2-0 defeat to Hamilton. Expecting a reaction from the players, and largely we never got it, did we?
No, I'm going to let you go solo here, Derek, because I was working. I didn't get to see it, and after the result I didn't even watch the highlights or anything back because I was so pissed off with it. So you're going solo on this one, mate.
Just a brief summary of the first half. It was quite a fast-paced game, both teams having their chances. We probably slightly edged it. We were trying different options, going down the wings and then shots and runs through the middle. We were pretty decent and we looked at up for it at least, but again, no penetration. There was nothing clear-cut, and it's been a feature of our side for the whole season so far. Unlucky lucky with a few. We did get a bit of luck though on one occasion in the first half where there was a cross came in from Candias which hit off the leg of the defender and up onto the bar. It's, as I said, a bit of luck, but it's this type of lucky decisions, these type of lucky things we've not been getting a lot this season as well. But I'm a big believer of sometimes you create your own luck. So that's what it was.
Okay, Obi-Wan. We'll leave it there,
into the second half, again, it was much the same, but, again, we never really came out, and the first goal went to Dundee in the 65th minute. It was a free kick floated into the box, players running back towards goal, hits off the feet of our defender, right into the path of the attacker, who shoots it into the back of the net from 6 yards. This is what I'm talking about with you make your own luck. It was a bit fluky, them getting that kind of deflection when our defender was running back onto goal, but again, they should have been going out to meet the ball rather than running away for the ball. So, and 4 minutes later, though, we did get a brilliant goal. It was from Josh Windass, of all people. It was a ball down the right wing, crossed in, defender heads the ball right into the path of Windass, who was unmarked on the edge of the box, gets the ball, slight turn and a blistering shot out into the back of the net. Fantastic reaction, and it was the 1 minute of the 89 Josh Windass actually played the game.
Yeah, okay. No, I did see the goal in a few replays I saw on Twitter and stuff like that, so it certainly was a good goal, Derek, but going by the reaction on Twitter, as you say, it was possibly the only positive thing that he did all game.
And then on the 79th minute, Dundee got their second goal. Scott Allen, who had just came on the park at the time, gets the ball, dogged play, loses the ball, gets it back again, superb pass right through the defenders into the path of the Dundee player O'Hara, who slots home for his second of the night. So it was all there, that down for me to Scott Allen, his dogged play. He just wasn't giving up, and it's something we had completely lacked all season, really.
Yeah.
And the game kind of fizzled out after that. We never really had many chances after that. So obviously a lot's been said about Murty's post-match interview, where there was clearly tears in his eyes and he looked quite shaken up. You had your explanation for that, Derek. We spoke about that last night, and like I said to you, I didn't know if the guy was genuinely upset, and I think the consensus of opinion was that he had probably, went on a complete meltdown, screaming and shouting, and this was a sort of aftermath, the emotions running high, and it looked as if he was very upset, but possibly because he had been reading the riot act to the players, at the full-time whistle, but we'll never know, will we? No, I mean, it was... I don't know if it was concerning or not to see him that way, but again, if he was genuinely upset with that play, then and he was close to tears for that, then I don't know, is that the mentality of a Rangers manager? I don't know. Probably not, I would have said.
You can read it both ways, Derek. You can read it as, he's an exception, a really passionate guy that cares a lot about, the way the team's playing and stuff like that, or as a lot of people have been taking it, maybe, showing the sort of weaker side of management. It's up to everybody's interpretation, I think.
Yeah. Now, going into the game last night, Wednesday 29th of November, it was a 3-0 home victory against Aberdeen. Completely unexpected, wasn't it?
Totally unexpected, Derek. Everything had changed. They had to, because of injuries and whatnot, they had to change the team, which I'll let you get into. A couple of forced changes, but changes that I think a lot of people have been wanting, with the likes of Alves playing again and Carlos Pena. And what a change it was, Derek, because the vast majority of people didn't give us a hope in hell of even performing the way we did, never mind that scoreline. And let's be honest, me and you weren't exactly super confident on the way through. I was trying to keep, because my wee boy was there, and he's, this season, he's no, any time I've took him, he's not seen us win. So I was sort of saying to him, it'll be no problem and we'll win 3-0. And he says to me, you knew that's what the score was going to be, but I was just being optimistic. But I'll let you get into it, Derek, because it was a fantastic night, a fantastic performance. Yep.
Two changes, I think it was. Alves came in back from injury, and Carlos Pena came in. So lined up Foderingham, Tavernier, Wilson, Alves, John, McCrory, Jack, Holt, Pena, Windass and Miller. On the subs bench, we had Anik, Cranchart, Herrera, Hodgson, Hardy, Candias and Bates. It was quite a strange team as well that we thought. I mean, when we heard it in the car, we were thinking, what kind of formations? I think it ended up being a 3 at the back or something.
It was a 3-5-2 is the way that I counted it. It was 3 with McCrory, Wilson, and Alves playing at the back. He had these 2 wing backs in John and Tav. His 2 sort of holding midfielders in Holt and Jack, with Pena supporting the front 2 of Windass and Miller. That's the way I sort of saw that it was set out, and very effective it was.
Yep. Right from the get-go, we were right up for it. It seems in the first minute it was a great delivery from Tavernier on the right, across the goal, and Windass outstretched, but he couldn't quite get there. Really, it just needed a touch, and it was in the back of the net, but pleasing to see anyway. And this would have been a feature of the whole night, really, getting a good cross in from the right-hand side.
It was and fruitful as well.
Yep. On the 6th minute, we got a penalty. As I said on the reaction pod, I actually initially thought it was I didn't even think it was a penalty, but obviously looking back on it, it was as clear as a penalty as you could get, so I don't know what I was looking at the time. Basically, Holt was about to unleash a shot. Defender came right across him with a high leg to the chest, and he was completely taken out. And I think I maybe thought it wasn't a foul because of the way the Aberdeen player got flipped up over, but it was dogged determination from Holt, just going right for the ball, so good to see. And in the 7th minute, Tavernier slots it home with a great penalty, and myself and everybody around me were thinking, what the hell, Tavernier taking the penalty? So
exactly, I think it was the same reaction in our stand as well, so but fair play. I'm confident enough to step up and take it. Scored.
Yep, so certainly pressure off us straight away with a fairly early goal.
Yep.
In the 9th minute, there was a good run with the ball by John, taking on players, hits a shot but deflects off an Aberdeen defender, and a comfortable save for the keeper. On the 19th minute, it was a lovely shot from Pena from 18 yards, forcing a great save from the keeper. It was good play down the right hand side to find Pena in space, and he just unleashed an absolute rocket of a shot, and it forced the keeper to tip it over the net.
Yeah, no, it was a great shot. I actually thought he just dinged it over the top of him, but the goalkeeper managed to get a fingertip to it and put it over the bar. So no, we were really, really impressive by that point, and that's when you could see Pena was just starting to get more and more into the game. He was finding space and starting to exploit it as well, so good to see.
Yep. 24th minute, Windass had the ball actually in the back of the net, but it was correctly ruled offside. Good to see him getting in that position though, because he had got, I think it was almost like a one-on-one with the keeper, if I can remember right. So,
yep, that's right, yep.
So it was good to see that. And we got our second goal on the 26th minute, and Pena got his just desserts. Lovely play down the right-hand side with Tavernier, Holt and Miller linking up. Holt crosses the ball on the deck into the box. Pena had ghosted into a nice space, a nice touch, and then he put it into the back of the net. Fantastic to see, and a justified start, obviously.
Yeah, it was. It was also good to see the cross coming in. Windass being the sort of more further forward striker, obviously wasn't going to get to him, but there was Pena coming in behind him, which is what we've been missing, Derek, with a lot of the crosses that we've been putting in, especially in the last few games. We've been missing that sort of someone just behind the strikers just to get on the end of the ball, and that's what Pena did and slotted it away nicely.
Yep. I mean, something I said to you after the game is he's got a very weird run, and it's something Tom Miller highlighted in his commentary as well, that I think that's maybe why he gets a lot of criticism, because he's got a very lazy gait, and it's just maybe the way he runs. He's got a very weird run, he really has, and I think it makes him look slower than he actually is sometimes, so it's something we might need to be a wee bit patient with. The guy's certainly got an eye for goal, and he's got a bit something about him. It's just that we've not seen that often enough.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So it's maybe a case of patience, and when we play the right team and formation for him, he'll do stuff, and that's every goal he's scored, it has been crackers for us so far. So.
That's right, and I think that formation certainly suited his style of play last night. It was letting him get forward. He still had the two supporting players behind him, which really helped him.
Yep. 29th minute was a bit of a scramble in our 6-yard box, but we managed to get it away. Fodringham made a good save in that also. And the 33rd minute was a great play, resulting in Penna playing a great ball into the box with Tavernier hitting a shot, forcing a good save from the keeper. On the 36th minute, Aberdeen had a shot. It was just by our post, and Gary Mackay-Stephen, who had just come on in the 40th minute, he got booked on the 42nd minute. He had a shot that went wide, and he went absolutely mad because he thought they had been pulled down in the box, but he got a yellow card for his back chat.
Give it a
Yep, exactly. Into half time, we're obviously full of great hopes for the next half. We had played fantastic. It was the first time this season I think we've all seen the team fighting for every single ball and putting the opposition team under pressure, or so much pressure that they had to actually force themselves into the passing back to their keeper, which is normally the opposite for us. So fantastic to see, and it's something that I think Pedro set his team out before he even started with us. He said that he's wanting to play a fast-paced pressing game, and it's the first time we've seen it this year, and ironically he wasn't the manager. So.
That's right, exactly. No, you got that spot on there, Derek. That was, the main reason I think that we played so well was because we never gave Aberdeen a sniff of the ball. Any time they were on the ball, we were right on top of them. And to be fair to Graham Murray, he set his team out, spot on for this game. So, as you say, really good to see.
Yep. Into the second half, not a lot happened to be quite honest with you. I had a look back at today, and a lot of it was a midfield game. There's a few chances here and there. A bit disappointing because I thought Aberdeen got more of a grip of the game up until about the 60th minute. They obviously had to go for it. I think they changed to a more attacking play, and I think they got more of the ball simply because we started to stand off them. We gave them more time on the ball, and we hadn't been playing our pressing game like we did in the first half, so it was disappointing to see, but certainly anything that Aberdeen did try and do, it was fairly well contained. They didn't really have much of any chances. 57th minute, Holt did have a bad challenge on the Aberdeen player, and Ryan Christie, obviously the Celtic loanee, confronts Holt and raises his hand and tries to push him, and he gets a yellow card for his trouble. So it's hard to highlight there for what would happen later on in the game.
Yep.
On the 67th minute, Penna came off and Candias came on. And almost immediately on the 70th minute, we got our goal to make it 3-0 by Tavernier. Windass gets the ball on the edge of the right-hand side of the box, puts a cross in on the deck, and Tavernier with more or less a simple tap-in. Possibly offside. Having a look back at it, I think his body was slightly off, but his feet was certainly on, I would have said. So I'm pretty sure if any part of the body that's offside gets ruled offside, I'm not too sure on that rule that way. But, given the fact that we're due a bit of luck from the referees and linemen this year, then I'll certainly take it.
Definitely, and sort of striker's instinct from the fullback as well, Derek, just with the position that he found himself in, and tucked the ball away really well. Though I didn't know who it was that had actually scored at the time, because for where we were sitting behind, in the Broomloan, we basically just seen the ball go in, and then everybody sort of mob whoever it was that scored. So it wasn't until it was actually on the tannoys that it was announced that it was Tav that scored. But looking back, I've seen the goal back again. It was a really good finish by him, so fantastic.
And it's the first time since I've been going to Ibrox in a year and a half, I've had my season ticket, that I've seen the bouncy getting done by the fans as well.
Is that right? Oh, well, there you go.
I was wondering that, where's it all gone? And obviously the last couple of years have not been the greatest of play for us, so it was certainly good to see that back, albeit for about 10 seconds worth. So. 82nd minute, Miller came off, Herrera came on, and as I highlighted about Ryan Christie, he's seen red on the 83rd minute. Basically, Ross McCrory had got the ball, and it was a wild lunge from behind Ryan Christie done, and he's setting yellow card, and he tried to complain about it. I've no idea why, because it was a clear as day, yellow card, and it just shows you the stupidity of the guy when, given what he got his first yellow card for as well.
Stupid.
Not sure if that rules him out for the next game or not.
I'm sure it does, Derek. I'm sure I read that he will miss the next game because of that. If it was a straight red, you get a chance to appeal it and you can play the next match, but because it's 2 yellows, I'm sure that you're automatically banned for the next game. And let's be honest, Derek, he is their main player. Everything goes through him, and without him they're kind of lost. Or if he gets completely outmarked during a game like he did in that match there, they were lost as well. So it's only good for us that he's not playing, because he is a fantastic player. There's no getting away from that. But it's just a good bit of fortune for us that he's not going to be playing on Sunday now either.
Yep. And the last bit I've got here is in the 88th minute, Windass came off and Ryan Hardy came on.
Yep.
So, as I said, certainly unexpected and fantastic all round. We kind of mentioned on the reaction pod about some of the players. As I said, I felt Holt, was a wee bit lacking sometimes. He gave the ball away far too often for my liking, and Miller again was playing far too deep at times, and he never really got fully involved. He had a few good 1-2s now and again, but again, if his main role is a striker, why is he playing? I mean, he was down in the kind of touch line at the halfway line at some points, and I don't know what his role is, and I don't know if he's set out to be an out striker, or he's meant to be this Roman player. Like
I said, when we done our wee sort of bit last night that went out on YouTube, I think in the first half you found he was playing more as your out-and-out striker, but in the second half, as Aberdeen slightly got back into the game, he was maybe dropping a bit deeper to try and get the ball, but he does do it nearly every game now, Derek, so it is quite puzzling what he's been told to do, or is he just doing this off his own back? You don't know. Obviously Tav got man of the match, Derek. He scored the 2 goals and he got man of the match. Had a great game, but I have to say the 2 standout players for me was the return of Bruno Alves and of course young McCrory, who I thought was outstanding. And Graham Murray actually said that. He says I'm not just singling him out because he's one of my youth players, but he was absolutely phenomenal. And even when Graham Murray changed it slightly in the second half and played the 4-4-2, he put McCrory into midfield, and he just looked a complete natural in there as well, Derek. You're a really talented young player. I just hope we nurture him properly, because he could be a top pro. And going back to Alves, like I said last night, he was like the quarterback in an American football team. He was right at the back. He was getting the ball straight for defence, and he was like playing these absolutely sublime 40-50 yard passes up to whoever was out in the wing. The amount of problems that he caused just the way he was passing the ball, and then every single high ball that was in there, he won every single one of them, Derek, last night, and we got a really good view of him, especially in the second half as Aberdeen were getting into it. There was just no way that they were getting anywhere near our goals with any sort of crosses or high balls in the box, because he didn't even have to take a run and jump at the vast majority of them. The ability he's got in the air was fantastic, and I don't think that Stevie May will have a harder game all season than what he had last night.
No, I mean, it's certainly one thing that I've noticed from Alves is every time he jumps up for a header, he wins it. I don't think I've seen him lose any, unlike a lot of other times.
Every single ball that was in last night, Derek, he won, and even anything that was getting played along the ground, last night was the Bruno Alves that I have been hoping to see ever since we signed him. He was cool, calm and collective. He played every ball. There was no wasted ball with him whatsoever. Every pass he played, every clearance was like a well-timed pass and tackle. I thought he was outstanding, but I actually think that McCrory maybe outshined him last night with how well he played, also playing sort of just in front of Alves, and then going into midfield. He was outstanding last night.
Yeah, somebody I forgot to properly mention on the reaction pod is McCrory. It was phenomenal. It's not just his defensive duties; it was his forward play as well, and it was ability to tackle, or ability to find the man when he done passes. Fantastic, and as you said, hopefully somebody we nurture and we're able to keep. But we obviously know that we're probably going to be more of a selling club now, and if a bid came in for him, then obviously it would need to be seriously considered, which is something we'll get into in the boardroom section. Certainly it leaves us in the table sitting third now. That was our game in hand against Hibs. We have played 15, won 8, drawn 3, lost 4, scored 31, conceded 17, goal difference 14 and points 27. As I said, we're in third, we're a point ahead of Hibs, who are in fourth. Motherwell, they've got a game in hand against us, and we are 4 points ahead of them. We're only 3 behind Aberdeen now, and we obviously play them next, and we're 7 points behind Celtic now, but they've got a game in hand. Obviously with their game last night was a bit dubious with the way they got their equalising goal in the last minute, but the less said about that the better.
Yes, exactly.
As I said, the next game we've got is on Sunday. It's Sunday the 3rd of December away to Aberdeen, so that's going to be a big crunch game again. A ridiculous amount of fixtures in December, just to suit the winter break we've got in January. 7 fixtures in total, only 3 at home, and there's only 2 of them are 3 o'clock kickoffs. Again, this is one thing that's no good for the fans. There is no need to have that many fixtures in December, especially when you're going to be coming into the bad weather now. And again, we've got 4 out of the 7 away games as well, and they're not even at 3 o'clock. It's ridiculous. But as I said, Aberdeen, and then the next game is Saturday the 9th of December at home to Ross County, and then Wednesday the 13th of December away to Hibs, and that's a 19:45 kick-off, and we will probably have another podcast out either next week or certainly before the Hibs game anyway.
Yes.
So that leaves us going in now to the boardroom section. Right, the only thing we've got to talk about in the boardroom section is obviously the AGM that happened today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure what to make of it, to be honest. It was a pretty subdued one. There wasn't anything major that came out of it that we didn't already know.
Yeah.
And a lot of fans seem to be unhappy about that, and I'm kind of baffled why, to be honest.
I think I actually thought it would have been a lot worse, Derek. There's a lot of unhappy fans that basically wanted to go into the AGM today to be told, the new manager is going to be such and such, which was never going to happen.
No.
But the vast majority of fans are wanting it. I actually think it would have been a lot worse if they got beat last night, Derek, let's be honest. But a lot of fans are still on a high after the performance last night, so they maybe got the board maybe got off lightly with a lot of fans, but it was the vast majority of the questions were sensible. There was a couple of really embarrassing, stupid questions which we're not even going to talk about because it's just incredible. If anybody wants to see them, they can go back. But the main questions, as you say, that the people wanted to know was the manager's situation and the finances, which I'm sure you're going to get into. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's, there's no point covering it in great depth, to be honest. Everybody can read the points. It's the statements on the Rangers website there. There's videos out there, and there's obviously the talking points on the other websites. Really, I've listened to the interview with Dave King after the event, which was put on RTV. Confirmed that they're planning a new retail deal in the summer. The Sports Direct deal prevents them looking at a new deal now, but they're certainly in planning for it. Puma, there was an option for Puma to extend their deal, so they've wanted to do that. Apparently, Rangers
that's happened today. Apparently, it says that started today.
Yeah. So Rangers are looking into either that or going with an entirely different one, as well as a new club sponsor. They've confirmed they're taking time with their manager. They didn't think that. I mean, this was the interesting thing that was kind of left out of the AGM. I think that he's confirmed that they didn't think any candidates that were available just now were there was no outstanding candidates. So that's kind of really ruling out all the managers that have put their CV in, and they might have been interested and they've not got a club just now. So then you can maybe rule out your likes of what's his name? Your likes
Steve McLaren,
Allardyce, and he's obviously just accepted the Everton job tonight. McLeish, which we'll get into obviously as well. So that's an interesting one, and they did confirm also the fact that they've got a short list, hopefully it'll be sorted soon, and they're even looking at managers who have currently got contracts, which quite rightly they can't really go into in the public domain because they're contracted and they've got to do, obviously the things like speak to the parent clubs and see if they can organise some sort of compensation. So, this is what I said in the last pod, is the fact that a lot of fans are, unhappy the fact that we're waiting for CVs to come in and we're not headhunting. It's been clear that they have been headhunting, as I said they would have been doing, and they're obviously just waiting to see what they can do. I'm not too sure his analogy of getting board members into South African companies that can take up to 3 months has got any relevance to do with football and our situation, mind you. It was maybe an ill-timed, ill-advised comment to make, but at the same time, it's he's making a point where things do take time, and I think the board do know that really they have to get this one right. Every Rangers appointment needs to be correct, obviously, but at the same time, this more than anything needs to be right. He did make a point, obviously, as well, saying that the investment made in the players and the management staff haven't been commensurate with the results, and that's been clear to see over the last two managers. And he's, outright said the last two managers have been failures. So,
yeah.
Obviously, as well, he was asked about in terms of selling on players for a very cheap sum. This is not a new thing with Rangers. We've historically done it, bar maybe Boomsong and Alan Hutton. We've historically bought out, especially from England, bought for a lot and sold for virtually nothing.
Yeah.
Laudrup's a prime example at that one. We could have sold on for a good few million, sold on for nothing because we wanted to get the extra out of him. And he said that that's been a mistake, and they've held their hands up to that, and that's will be something remedied in the future. So I don't know what more fans can ask about that. They've held their hands up when it's wanted, when it's justified. There was petitions made before the AGM wanting Stuart Robinson out the bloody door because of the fuck up he made with appointing Caixinha. We could appoint Pep Guardiola or Alex Ferguson or anybody. It's a risk. Any appointment, any player we bring in, any manager we bring in is always going to be a risk. You've just got to deal with that at the time. So I don't know what else I can really say from that. It's
the one thing that he did say with regards to the appointment of the new manager was that it was someone who was currently in employment, and it was someone who had a knowledge of Scottish football. Now, everybody and their granny in the media everywhere has now basically all said, "Oh well, it must be Derek McInnes that they're talking about." That's what everybody's saying now, Derek. It must be McInnes. McInnes is coming in. Even some of the more trusted guys on Twitter who are Rangers fans that that we hear a lot of news from are saying it must be McInnes. That's certainly not what the way that I read it. It was someone who had a knowledge of Scottish football that was in management. That could be anyone. I'm just still holding out hope that it's going to be Van Bronckhorst, because he still fits that mould as well. He's with his club, and he'll be playing his last Champions League match next week. So that's what I'm hoping and praying for. But the consensus of opinion is that it's definitely going to be Derek McInnes.
Well, I mean, I get the impression some fans want him in just to make Aberdeen shitter rather than improving us. Because I don't see anything exceptional with him. We've went over this before, so I'm not going to go over it again. No. But I mean, obviously, I was talking about Alex McLeish there. Ladbrokes suspended their betting on Alex McLeish during the week there, and he came out literally hours later saying, "Rubbish, I've never had any contact with the club." Ray Wilkins is throwing his hat in the ring, whether that being a supporting role or being the actual manager. I mean, certainly done a good job at Chelsea. Can't take that away from what he's done. Stuart Millen, in terms of the McInnes situation, Stuart Millen came out and said that he spoke to Derek, and he said that he's going nowhere. So maybe that's just media talk, maybe not, but we'll just need to wait and see. The one thing I want to kind of talk about in terms of the AGM is the two questions about cutting Celtic's allocation. Not that it's a unvalid question, certainly, but the fact that it was asked and answered by the board, and then somebody after another question asked it more or less the exact same thing again, and the board had to reiterate their stance that they'll look into it, but we'll get our allocation cut. It's all to do with policing, it's all to do with segregation, and that's part of the reason how we get our accreditation of being one of the best stadiums in Europe. So I'm all for cutting their allocation, but really you can't really moan at the board for not answering other more pressing questions when you ask the same question that's already been answered for a second time. It's just fucking pathetic. It really is. I don't know what else the fans were wanting to happen. We knew the outcome of the manager. We knew the outcome of the finances. They said that in terms of the finances, there will be more loans provided as and when need be. They will. Most of what's already been given will be converted back into shares come the resolution. Come any other share issues. If people are unhappy with the current board, and I'm talking about shareholders who were attending the event there, then they've got the opportunity to vote them off the board. So if they get voted back on the board, and I don't think any of the resolutions have been announced, the outcome of the resolutions have been announced yet, but if you're unhappy with them and you don't vote them off the board, then you can't really complain about that then, can you?
No.
So that's really kind of sums up that section for me. I don't know if you've got anything more to add about that.
No, the only thing that I was really wanting to say was what you reiterated about the manager there, and that the vast majority of people, like I said, have now got us. It's going to be McInnes that's going to be the new manager, and I just wanted to hear your view on what you thought. Your interpretation of what he was saying. If you were getting the same thoughts as all the vast majority, everyone else that he was talking about McInnes, or do you think it still could be somebody else?
I think it could be anybody at the end of the day. The media in this country put 2 and 2 together and come up with 10 sometimes, and they go on the back of if you remember how the media reacted when Ladbrokes suspended the betting on McLeish, they were wetting themselves. They don't have a clue, so it could be anyone at this stage, and who's to say it is going to be McInnes? Who's to say it isn't? We'll just need to wait and see in this one. Yeah. As I said, if we do need a manager in, absolutely, but I would rather us take a wee bit of time and make sure we get the right man in. Simple as. I've said that all along.
Yeah, definitely.
So you look at Everton; they've spent nearly 5 weeks in appointing their manager. And they've got more than enough finances to get someone in and pay the extortionate compensation for anyone they want, effectively. So, it's part of football sometimes. And one thing I think a lot of fans forget is where we've came from and where we've been in the last 6 years. Our reputation in a business sense and also in a footballing sense has dramatically plummeted. People were complaining on Twitter the other day that we should have got a really powerful and well-known CEO in to run day-to-day business rather than Stuart Robinson. We don't have that pull we did maybe back in the Murray days. So people have got to realise where we are, take a step back. It's all well and good saying, we're Rangers, we're a winning club, we should be winning. Absolutely firmly believe that myself. But you've got to take a step back sometimes and say, right, where are we just now? Look at where we can go, and then we're trying to work for that rather than just the instant success that everybody wants. It is painful. I don't like it myself, but it's a process we need to go through sometimes, and we just need to take a step back and look at where we're going and where we need to go to get back on that pedestal we used to be on. That's all I can really say about that, because we're kind of tuning over old news here again.
Definitely.
So, we'll now move on to the classic match.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
So, Dave, you've got a victory against the team we just beat to cover.
That's right, yes. I was looking, Derek, through a few old games, and I came across this one, and I couldn't actually remember it at the time, and then I sat and I watched it back, and I certainly remember the second goal after watching it. It was away back in 1991, the 4th of December, and we played Aberdeen at Pittodrie. Now, back then, Derek, it was the old Admiral strips that we had on there with the very short shorts. Remember that strip? In the Rangers team that day was Andy Gorham in goals. We had a back four of Gary Stevens, David Robertson, Richard Gough and Oleg Kuznetsov. In midfield we had Nigel Spackman, Stuart McCall, Alexei Mikhailichenko and Dale Gordon, and up front the dream partnership of Ali McCoist and Mark Hateley. A few of the Aberdeen players on that day: Theo Snelders in goal, Alec McLeish was playing, Brian Irvin, Jim Bett, Michel van der Ark, Theo Tenkat, Hans Heelhuis. Hans Heelhuis was actually a really good striker. I remember him back in the day. So Aberdeen had a very, very strong team back then. That's when Aberdeen were spending some money, and they had some quality players. So it was going to be a difficult game, and it turned out to be an absolute cracker. It started off Rangers on the front foot, playing down the wings with a few crosses into the box. Ali McCoist being one of the players that had found some space. The ball fired into the box, cleared the way. Then Dale Gordon fired the shot into the box as well, cleared the way. But then very early on in the 5th minute we actually took the lead.
Headed on by McCoist. Here's Hateley. Very neat turn. McCoist's dummy allows Gordon to take over. That's a great effort by Gordon and by Hateley. A superb finish by Hateley. 1-0 to Rangers. 5 minutes of the first half gone.
It was a ball into the box, and it was a nod on by Ali McCoist to Dale Gordon. Dale Gordon had a shot which was saved by Snelders. It came back out to Mark Hateley, and he scored an absolute peach of a volley. Battered it. It was a tremendous, actually quite reminiscent of the goal that Kenny Miller scored last season against Aberdeen. Absolute cracker. Rangers went in 1-0. Then after that, Aberdeen trying to get back in. They had a free kick on the left hand side which was cleared to Hans Heelhuis on the byline.
Well beaten by Hateley, back defending. Down goes Heelhuis. That's a penalty kick. Gary Stevens going into the back of Heelhuis in a very clumsy fashion. And his protest there will be in vain. Well, this is an amazingly rash challenge from a top-class defender. It's a vital kick for Aberdeen. The rebound from Tenkat. Aberdeen have equalised. Theo Tenkat rescuing his countrymen with amazing reflexes here.
He was actually tackled by Gary Stevens, quite a clumsy tackle because he was going nowhere. Heelhuis is brought down, clear penalty to Aberdeen, which they took. Tenkat took, slotted home. That then made it 1-1. Like I said, you could hardly catch your breath. There was something happening constantly. So that was early on. It was 1-1. Aberdeen then came out all guns blazing. They had a shot to the defender, then back out to the winger who had a shot saved by Andy Gorham, who actually managed to hold the ball. A really good save by Gorham. Then Mark Hateley shot from a defensive mix-up, which was well saved by Theo Snelders, so end to end. But then on the 35th minute,
Hateley's ball inside, picked up by McCall. It's fine play by Hateley. His pace is good enough here. It's a great chance for Rangers. That was brilliant. The goal of supreme quality by Mark Hateley. He started that all by himself with that pass into the path of Stuart McCall. That is explosive pace. Took him away here from David Winnie, but wait for the finish. Snelders coming out to another angle. He takes one look up and thunders the ball home.
From our byline, Gary Stevens played a great ball up to Ali McCoist on the right wing. Still in our half, Mark Hateley had made the run on further up onto the right wing. Ali McCoist found him with a great ball, who then played the ball to Stuart McCall. Stuart McCall turned round, he found Mark Hateley overlapping him, played a fantastic pass through to Mark Hateley, and he just set off like a rocket past Brian Irvin. He left him for dead, gets to the edge of the box and just fires an unstoppable shot past Snelders. Absolutely sensational goal by Mark Hateley. Mark Hateley is very best to make it 2-1 to Rangers. Then after that, Aberdeen trying desperately again to get back into the game, but Rangers had a hold on it. We were They were making Aberdeen, the only thing they could do against us were some long range shots. Then we had another great chance by Mark Hateley, which could possibly have been a penalty. It was a free kick into the box. Richard Gough headed it back across the face of goal. Mark Hateley with a diving header, he just missed it, but it looked as if there'd maybe been an infringement just beforehand, so maybe a bit unlucky not to get the penalty there. That went in at half time, Rangers winning 2-1. As I say, we had played really, really well. Aberdeen had got back into the game quite quickly, but as the first half went on, Rangers were showing their dominance in that one, and it certainly continued into the second half. We had another great chance there, David Robertson to Mikhailichenko down the left hand side, who just left the defender for dead. A fantastic turn. He had his cross blocked and then put it back, another shot which was saved by Theo Snelders. And then on the 55th minute, just 10 minutes after half time, we went 3-1 up.
Robertson looking for Hateley. Into the path of McCoist it goes. There's McLeish. McCoist gets the third. A fine goal once again for Rangers, right out of the blue. Hateley with a head flick on. McLeish lost his bearings there. McCoist did a slight touch to get the ball away from the Aberdeen centre half, and then a delicate lob beyond Snelders for yet another splendid goal.
It was David Robertson with a long ball down to Mark Hateley, flicked the ball on for Ali McCoist to run through the edge of the box, and a fantastic lob over Snelders to make it 3-1 to Rangers. Great goal in there, the partnership of McCoist and Hateley, absolutely fantastic. The game at this point was like 100 mile an hour stuff, but Rangers were forcing the play, but as I say, quite comfortable at 3-1. But then a moment of madness from Mark Hateley, who had been having a fantastic game.
Hateley's given that straight to Hillhouse, a chance now for Aberdeen. Hillhouse going to be on Gorham, still has a chance. Blocked on the line and forced home in the end by Irvin. Aberdeen are back in the match. A disastrous pass back here by Hateley. What was he thinking about? But Hillhouse kept at his feet. But in there to Irvin. Then it was blocked by Gough, and Irvin reacted quickly enough.
Hateley gets the ball in midfield and tries to pass the ball back to Andy Gorham, but it was too short. Hans Hillhouse, he ran through, has his shot, which was actually saved on the line. I think it was by John Brown, but it only rebounded back to Tenkat, who just sort of stabbed the ball in to make it 3-2 to Rangers. And then it was the Andy Gorham show after that. It was Gorham that kept us in it. Jim Bett, first of all, with a long shot saved by Andy Gorham from distance, and then an incredible save by Gorham. There was a volley that was heading for the top corner. This is just sublime, this save. He saved it one hand, dived, saved it just for going in. Absolutely fantastic still to make it 3-2. Then there was another cross which he punched clear to the edge of the box, and then it was headed back in, and another fantastic save by Andy Gorham. And then John Brown brought down the player on the edge of the box, but Aberdeen with another free kick, but again fantastically saved there by Andy Gorham, superb. And then the last bit of action we had, a cross in for David Robertson. Mark Hateley headed it in, we scored, but the referee had blew for a free kick just at the edge of the box, so Rangers unlucky that we weren't allowed to continue. But that was the sort of final play. It was a fantastic 3-2 victory, and certainly all three goals we scored, Derek, were absolutely fantastic. Mark Hateley's 2 goals were excellent, and a superb goal by Ali McCoist as well, and also getting to see Andy Gorham at his very best as well. So again, as usual, if you get the chance to go back and watch it, like I said, it was 3-2 to Rangers at Pittodrie, the 4th of December 1991. And how old were you back then, Derek?
It was literally my birthday that day, so...
Mm-hmm. It was literally your birthday, or it was your birthday?
It was literally... Yes, it was my birthday that day, so that gives you an idea of when my next birthday's coming up as well. So,
oh, there you go.
Yes, I would have been... What did you say, 91?
1991, yeah.
I was 6 years old that
So you would
day.
have been 6, yeah, because
Yes.
I was 16, so there you go. Oh, there's the tea coming, mate.
Yep, fantastic game again. It's always good to get one over the sheep.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, we will move now into the news.
From ITN, the ITV News at 10 with Trevor McDonald.
Right, not a great deal of news to cover. We seem to be getting better at this because we're doing them obviously quicker. Firstly, though, there's a sad story. Former academy player Joran van der Broek passed away at the age of 28. No age to pass away. Absolutely shocking news, that as well.
Oh, I didn't know about that, Derek. Do we know what happened?
I've no idea. I just remember seeing him on Football Manager all the time and trying to bring him through, but he couldn't quite cut it, unfortunately. But absolutely shocking to hear that.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. Yeah, so it is.
Yep. Next one we've got here is Rangers Charity Foundation raised £91,000 at their annual charity ball at the Hilton on I think it was last Saturday. So fantastic.
Excellent. Great stuff.
And this one here, I don't think there'll be many Rangers fans buying this anyway, but Craig White appears to be bringing out a book about his time at Ibrox. It was partially leaked online, don't know how, and he's said to be absolutely raging about that. It's going to claim corruption, match fixing, along with other scandals. So
that'll be a top seller, Derek, with the green-white side of the city. I've got absolutely no doubt. So he'll make his money off of that.
Exactly. That's uncanny because I've actually literally written the same thing in my notes here. So Yep. And a recent study has shown that Celtic players earn more than double our players do. Our players earn more than double the Aberdeen players do, which both are no real surprise. But it's just maybe a wee reminder to some pundits that when they try to justify the European hammering Celtic have taken, and they claim it's all about wages, well, just look at our league as well then.
Exactly, Derek.
Yep. And we have got here, man who had penis hacked off by woman with pruning shears claimed it was a sex game gone wrong.
I tried to think, say a mad Keen Gardner or something like that, was it?
Sergio, aged 40, who also lost his testicles, claims he was blindfolded and aroused during the attack, as press dub Brenda Barattini, the Argentine Loretta Bobbitt.
I was going to say it was a Keen Gardner, but it was maybe a uphill Gardner, no?
It was previously reported that the 40-year-old rock musician, named only as Sergio F, was asleep when he was allegedly mutilated by a stunning blonde architect, Brenda Barattini.
As you do.
But his lawyer today insisted that he was both blindfolded and aroused while the attack took place.
I'm grimacing here actually when I think about that. But here's a question for you: Are pruning scissors no quite small?
I don't know. No, there's a picture of them here, and they're big proper shears, garden shears.
Shears, right? Okay.
The lawyer acting in defence of Barattini said there's justification for what happened. The information I've received is that she was the victim of a sex attack. She let him into the apartment because he's someone who's in a rock band and he's an acquaintance of her brother. But once inside, instead of removing a musical instrument as he was supposed to, he attacked her sexually and assumed the defensive attitude. Whether or not she acted excessively is for the courts to decide.
So see the Donald Finlay of Argentina's law. Sort of law firms or law institutions, do you think?
Well, I don't know. I hope somebody gets off because he certainly never did or never will. So
exactly. She's wearing his boss for earrings.
And the earrings, you love the earrings.
She's got her own earrings, a whole shoebox full of them, dangly ones. Come on.
So, that about wraps up the podcast.
Oh my God.
We're under an hour.
53 minutes.
Unbelievable.
53 minutes, I know.
Yes. So, yes, we have, just to say that thanks for listening, everyone. We do have our Twitter feed, which is at iReadyPod, our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/iReadyPod. We do have our website, which is ireadypodcast.wordpress.com. We do have her YouTube page as well, which as I said, we're trying to update as often as we can. This podcast will be obviously up in there as well, along with our match reactions as well. I'll try and rope Dave into it as much as I can, and
definitely,
and hopefully John as well, the former podcast guest as well.
Yep.
We just smash the like and subscribe button out of the YouTube as well, because it means we can get a unique name if we reach 100 subscribers. So please do that for us.
Quality.
Yes. So thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Yes, take care everyone, and hopefully the next time we do this pod we will have a new manager.
Yes.
Take care. Cheers.
Bye.